Every day, you wake up believing you're making your own decisions. What if you're not? What if invisible rules you followed for years are quietly deciding how confident you feel, why certain opportunities pass you by, and even why the same problems keep returning? Psychology shows that the human mind doesn't simply react to life. It creates patterns that become your reality. The most surprising part is that most of these rules were never chosen consciously. Today, you'll discover the hidden mental game almost everyone is playing without realizing it, and why changing the rules can completely change your life. Most people believe a better life begins by changing their circumstances. They chase more money, a better job, stronger relationships, more perfect timing. Yet many achieve exactly what they wanted and still feel trapped inside the same thoughts. That's because the biggest battles rarely happen outside of us. They happen inside the mind, where unnoticed beliefs quietly influence every emotion, every habit, and every decision. Today, we're going beyond motivation and exploring the psychological rules that silently shape your reality, and how changing those invisible rules can transform everything else.
Imagine trying to drive forward while someone is constantly pulling the handbrake. That's what unresolved emotional baggage does to the brain. Old anger, disappointment, and resentment don't stay in the past. They continue influencing your nervous system long after the event is over. Psychology shows that chronic emotional stress keeps the brain focused on protection instead of growth. The result is simple. You become more reactive, less creative, and slower to notice opportunities. Letting go isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about refusing to let yesterday keep making today's decisions.
Here's another invisible rule most people never question. The more stressed you become, the less of reality you actually see. When your brain enters survival mode, it focuses almost entirely on threats, while filtering out possibilities. That's why one setback can suddenly make life feel hopeless, even when opportunities still exist around you. A calm mind doesn't create more opportunities. It simply notices the ones that fear was hiding. But stress isn't the only force quietly controlling your decisions. Something even more powerful is working behind the scenes. Most people confuse fear with intuition because both speak inside the mind. The difference is easy to miss. Fear is loud, impatient, and obsessed with everything that could go wrong. Intuition is quiet. It doesn't panic or demand attention. It simply points in a direction that feels strangely clear. The challenge is that constant overthinking drowns out that inner guidance. The quieter your mind becomes, the easier it is to recognize the difference. And once you do, another hidden rule begins to reveal itself. Long before your actions create results, your identity shapes your actions. Every person carries an invisible script built from years of experiences, criticism, successes, and failures. Without realizing it, The brain keeps repeating that script every single day. If it says you're not capable, you'll hesitate before every opportunity. If it says you're growing, you'll act differently without forcing yourself. Psychology calls this self-belief. The brain simply treats it like reality. The encouraging part is that invisible rules can be rewritten. Many people spend their entire lives chasing someone else's definition of success. They compare careers, lifestyles, and achievements, believing happiness exists somewhere outside themselves. But psychology tells us fulfillment appears when your strengths, values, and daily actions begin working together. That's why two people can have the same job while only one feels truly alive. Success isn't about copying another person's path. It's about discovering the one your mind and personality were naturally designed to follow. And that requires one final shift. The invisible rules controlling your life were learned one thought at a time. They can also be replaced the same way. Every repeated thought strengthens a pathway inside the brain until it becomes automatic. That's why lasting change rarely begins with one dramatic moment. It begins with small decisions repeated consistently, choosing calmer thoughts over fear, curiosity over judgment, growth over limitation. As those new patterns become stronger, your decisions begin changing naturally. And when your decisions change, your entire life quietly starts following a different direction. The invisible rules controlling your life were never written down. They were built through repeated thoughts, emotions, and experiences until they became automatic. The encouraging news is that what the mind has learned, it can also relearn. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, calm over fear, and purpose over habit, you're quietly rewriting the psychology that shapes your future. So ask yourself one simple question. Are you living by rules you consciously chose, or by rules you inherited without ever questioning them? The answer to that question may change far more than you expect.